Ya Rasulallah, Ya Rasulallah.
The missile capability of Iran and its allies in West Asia has been growing quite rapidly, yet the Wall Street Journal suddenly revealed recently that the US has begun withdrawing many of its air defense systems from Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Jordan and Kuwait. The Pentagon confirmed the news. It justified it by saying some of its systems had to be returned to the United States for maintenance. This is barely credible because engineers and technicians are usually sent to the deployment sites to service weapons like these, not the other way around.
You're talking about a Wall Street Journal report. I'm not going to speak to the details of that press reporting. I would just say this, Stephen, and you know this, that we have a very robust presence in the Middle East region, a lot of capabilities there, tens of thousands of personnel, as well as systems and capabilities across the region at various facilities and bases. And the Secretary believes that it's important that that presence and those capabilities remain robust. Number two, that, and it's not uncommon in that or any other area of responsibility around the world, we have to constantly take a look at the sustainment capability for those capabilities. I'm sorry, that's not worded well. Let me take that again. We have to look at the ability to sustain those capabilities and systems in whatever region they're deployed.
Saudi Arabia has faced a succession of highly effective missile attacks from Yemen, and prior to the withdrawal of American air defense, I'm sure the US Defense Secretary Lloyd must have had a phone call to Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman to break the shocking news to him gently, and that's why there's been no panic reaction from the Wahhabi kingdom to the surprise move by the United States, as Saudi Arabia, which heavily relied on Donald Trump and his ultra-Zionist son-in-law Jared Kushner for protection. Because it was under Trump, the United States sent Patriot and the THAAD missile system to Saudi Arabia to protect it from the Yemeni Houthi missiles, which wreaked havoc on its vital oil installations, and it also protected Saudi Arabia from Iranian retaliation if and when the United States and Israel decided to go to war against Iran. The withdrawals of these two systems follow two key developments: the United States President Joe Biden's announcement that all American forces will be withdrawn from Afghanistan by September, and the failure of the Israel's Iron Dome system, a modified version of the Patriot, during the latest war on the Gaza Strip. By making this move, the United States is effectively saying four things. First, admitting that its wars in Iraq, Syria, Afghanistan, the Gulf and Yemen all failed, and it needs to cut its losses, try to salvage its global leadership pretensions and the prestige of its weaponry, and avoid spending trillions more dollars on more futile wars. Secondly, that it's definitely shifting its attention to East Asia and specifically China, which it sees as the principal threat to its interests and influence in the region and the world at large. Third, that it can't be relied upon as a strong ally, and it will always abandon its friends and wash its hands off them whenever its economic or strategic interests or priorities change. And finally, the wars of the future will be cyber and drone wars, meaning that conventional defense systems are becoming redundant and need to be replaced by more suitable alternatives. Joe Biden, in essence, has opted to pull back from West Asia. He's telling his country's Arabs and Israeli friends that they will have to look after themselves in the future with minimum US assistance, and he will not wage war on Iran on their behalf. Iran has just elected a hardliner, Ibrahim Raisi, as its new president, bringing all major state institutions, the legislature, the judiciary, revolutionary guards, and now the executive under the fold of the leader Syed Ali Khamenei. America's Gulf allies feel orphaned and abandoned. They squandered so much of their oil wealth to appease their supposed protector, only to find themselves being left to their fate. Personally, my message to the Arabs of the Persian Gulf, especially the United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia, who pumped so much money into Wahhabism for America's benefit, should really take a leaf out of Iran's book, and that is to become self-sufficient and stop using religion as a tool for global wars.
My policy as Prime Minister of Israel is clear. I will never allow Iran to obtain the nuclear capability to carry out its genocidal goal of eliminating Israel.
You see, folks, Netanyahu is a nobody today. He constantly spoke about the Iranian deal and Iranian threat, but he didn't dare to attack Iran, and he knew very well that he couldn't, because he's not even considered remotely powerful by the resistance in Palestine, especially in Gaza, which has an area of 240 square kilometers. The people of Gaza defeated Israel and the Iron Dome, and Netanyahu was taken down too as a result. So the Arab kings and princes must learn from Iran and set up military industries rather than pumping money into madrasas around the world, creating Neanderthals for global wars. Arab leaders need to start becoming self-sufficient, start building missiles and UAVs, and for goodness sake, build an army to protect yourselves rather than relying on the United States of America and Britain all the time.